Hello and welcome to Season 3 of Faces. We're kicking off the new year with a special Back to School series designed to give you what you need to be ready for the first day of school. Whether you're a returning CCS family or brand new to our district, we have everything you need to start the year strong. Today, we're going behind the scenes with Columbus City Schools Transportation Department to see how our team works together to transport our students to and from school safely. After our behind-the-scenes view of transportation, we'll hear advice to my younger self from middle school students at Indianola Informal as they share personal reflections and meaningful lessons they have learned. Let's get started.
Welcome back. Today we are here at Moeller Transportation Center and we're going to talk with dispatchers, call center, and we get to see a little bit behind the scenes of what it takes to go and create routes with the bus routers. So are you ready to learn all about bus transportation? Let's do it. Ms. Monica, we want to really just peel back the veil and talk about the work that transportation does and how you all transport our over thousands and thousands of students safely to and from school. So first and foremost, what is a dispatcher?
So a dispatcher, we are the people that talk to the bus drivers. So if the bus drivers need directions, they call in and talk to us, or if they're having a problem on the bus with the students, then they call in and talk to us. So the bus drivers, they're the eyes for us out there on the streets. We're the eyes behind the bus drivers. Because, it might be detours, it might be construction, so they might need to know how to get around that. When they pre-trip, we can find them, we can locate the driver, help them to get to wherever they need. So we just need them to pre-trip always. The pre-trip is when the driver in the morning, they go around with a wand and it lets us know that they're in bus 559, and then it will let us know where they went that day.
It nails it down to the time, location, the route.
Yes.
So in real time, you can, and so you have to be pretty flexible to be a dispatcher and be able to move from one system to another.
Yes. It takes a team effort for this to pull it off.
I can tell you do important work. So let's go check out that call center you were talking about. Let's go. Tell us a little bit about, a day in the life of what someone does here in the call center.
Just like any call center, it's pretty constant with the calls. We're quiet right now because we're not in drive time, but during drive time, we are answering calls constantly. And what we'll do is we'll get the information when the callers call in. We write it on the information, we get it over to dispatch. So we work closely with that department to get the status on the buses.
What are the major drive times you said?
So we have AM and PM. In the AM, the drive times are between 6 a.m. and I would say 9 a.m. And then we have the general time of general questions between 10 and 2. And then we have drive time again, picks back up until 3 to 6. So those are the morning kids getting picked up, and then in the afternoon, the kids getting dropped off.
How many calls on average per day are they processing?
Minimum, it kind of varies. So yesterday we had 450 calls. So I would say a minimum is 200, maximum could be up to 900 calls per day.
We have many languages that our families speak. So how do you handle when a family calls and their primary language is not English?
Before 4:30, they go to ESL. So we'll transfer them over, we'll do a warm transfer, let them know that they need to talk to someone. And then it's also, we stay on the call, so it's really not a warm transfer. It's we stay on the call and get the information. We help the parent through that way. After hours, we have a little pocket talk. The girls will use their iPhones and things of that nature, so we try our best at that time to assist the customer.
Talk to me a little bit about when there's an emergency or if a bus is running late. What is the protocol to ensure that families are informed?
That information comes from dispatch. They send out a notification to all the parents of the numbers on file, and they're notified that the bus is running late.
Okay, and I know sometimes those calls can get a little stressful.
Yes.
How do your folks on the call center work to just kind of put those fires out?
They listen and try to empathize. They do empathize with them and just listen and make sure, because we're parents as well, so we always put ourselves in their shoes and work it out.
So Ms. Tanea Washington, you get to tell me all about the great work that the bus routers do. So first and foremost, what does a bus router do? And what does a typical day look like for someone who's routing?
So a router pretty much prepares a detailed route for the driver. On a day-to-day basis, answering emails, work on route changes that come from drivers wanting either stops removed, or maybe there was a student that showed up and they need the stop added back on, which if you look at the screen up here, you will be able to see the route itself. And what it would look like if we had to add another route, maybe further off from where the route is already centrally located right now. Also responding to emails from upper management about maybe concerns on routes that we may have to fix. It could be a routing issue. Maybe the driver is late to a stop. Just routing students who are waiting on transportation that maybe just came into the district, or maybe their routing have fell off and we need to put them back on the route.
And so I know one of the busiest times for you all is the beginning of the school year. And you know, what we really want to do is really just peel back the layers to show our families and community partners what goes into like deciding routes for students. So share a little bit about that.
When it comes to like creating bus routes, like the stops are carefully created to avoid like busy roads or intersections or things of that nature. We take all of those things into account when we're creating bus stops.
And so yes, you're talking a little bit about what my next question was going to be was what goes into it. So talk to me about the team and kind of the decision making.
So as far as the routing team, we look at different aspects when creating routes, like distance, the time, multiple sides of town, like cross town. The routes are consistently changing because this is a live document that we're using. Each school has their own route set. And so the students are loaded into a map, which you see right here, and that's how the routes are created. So we look at how many students we can fit on the bus, how many students is in that area, and how many routes need to be created to get all of those students to and from school.
Okay, so we have this map pulled up. Talk to me a little bit about it since I'm new to this. There's numbers, there's colors.
So
tell me what's going on.
The green is the actual route itself. The numbers that you see is how many stops is on the route. So if we were to click on one of the stops, it would tell you how many students is at each stop. And we can click on the directions and it'll give you the actual stop times that the driver will be picking up the students.
Again, just me looking at that map, if one of those numbers changes, so if they're no longer there, that transportation not needed, how does that affect the rest of the routing?
It just kind of depends on the distance between the stops that were removed or the stops that were added is going to determine how much time it's going to be as far as the times changing on the routes.
And does that happen often?
Yes, it does.
How do you prioritize safety? Because I know that's one of the most important priorities for you all as a department and district.
Just considering like the dangerous intersections, high traffic areas, right side pickups, unless it's like a residential area and it'll be safe for them to cross in front of the bus. Those type of things are the things that go into prioritizing the safety of all the students.
What is the most rewarding part of this job for you?
I'm definitely going to say teamwork. I definitely like collaborating with the other departments just to get their perspective on their day-to-day, how our job affects them and vice versa.
If you had to give some tips to families, what are things to help work with you in partnership to help ensure their kids are safe while they're riding with us?
I would definitely send out a tip as far as parents making sure that their contact information is always up to date. Regardless of how many times it changed, that's important for us. And then when you have little kids that, elementary students, just to make sure that there is some type of tag in their bag or some type of card in their bag to say that, their name, their grade, a phone number, their stop location or bus route, something that would help us so that if something was to happen, we're able to know who this child is and locate or reach out to a parent.
So communication, as you've expressed, is the key in all this.
It's definitely a huge part.
And great technological systems,
Yes.
right? So thank you. Thank you for the work you're doing with this, and we appreciate you spending time.
Thank you.
Welcome. Today I am here at Indianola Informal K through 8, and I have the great opportunity to talk to students from grades 6 through 8 and hear a little bit about their experience here in school, really capturing the student voice and student experience, thinking about reflecting on their years here. It's hard for me to even say younger self to you guys because I'm much older than you, but thinking about advice. Oftentimes you'll hear adults say, I wish I knew this and would give this advice to myself. What are some tidbits of advice you would give yourself when you were maybe in 4th and 5th grade that you are now a little bit older? Julia?
It's okay to fail. You need to failing makes you learn from your mistakes, and don't if you do fail, don't just take the paper, throw it in the garbage and throw a fit. Learn your mistakes and move on from it.
That's really great, because oftentimes we live in the social media world where we just see success stories, right? So it'd be great for us to share also those peaks and valleys. Okay, great bit of advice. Aiden, what about you? What would you tell your younger self?
I would tell myself to live in the moment and try not to worry too much about the future, because life gets harder as you get older, and when I was little, I thought that life would be more free, and yeah.
Yes, and adulting is not fun. It's hard. Yes, you're right. So just take your time and don't worry as much. That's a great lesson. Trey, what about you? What advice would you give your younger self?
To not be afraid to try new things and to be confident in what you do, and to try to find things that you like to do so you can be more comfortable.
And as you're going to high school, right, what's something that you'd like to try next year that maybe you haven't ever tried?
I would like to try to play football and be involved in more clubs and stuff and more activities.
Yeah, be included in different groups. That's excellent. Alexis, what about you? What advice would you give your younger self?
I would also say to just live in the moment, because now that I'm in 8th grade and I've been here for 9 years, it's just I wish I could go back, because I don't really remember a lot of the stuff I did before COVID happened. So just being able to remember and sort of live in my childhood, because I was really stressing about going to middle school most of my elementary school years. And even now I'm stressing about high school when I should just be trying to save my time here. So just living in the moment.
I'm sure that stress didn't make it better, right? Yeah, so that's good, great advice. As you're going into high school now, you've learned from that previously, so you can take a deep breath and enjoy that. I like that. A lot of adults could benefit from that advice too, being present. Gio, we'll end it with you. What advice would you give your younger self?
I would say not to stress so much about work and just have fun, but also still do your work.
Okay, so a balance, right? Balance can be hard. Excellent. So you all are heading to the next chapter. Summer's right around the corner. And so whether it's 7th grade, 8th grade, or high school, I wish you a lot of great luck. You've shared a lot of great tidbits and advice with us, and hopefully there'll be a lot of folks that benefit from our talk, okay? Thank you very much for sharing.